Good morning, everyone. For today's lecture, our topic is electrocyclic reactions, and we will continue this lecture from the previous one. In the previous lecture, we studied about thermal electrocyclic reactions, and today we will continue our discussion towards the photochemical electrocyclic reactions. So let us briefly summarize what is electrocyclic reaction. So electrocyclic reaction, it is a reversible reaction. We know that it can take place in both the directions, and it involves ring closure and ring opening both. So the ring closure of a conjugated polyene could be there and forming a cycloalkene molecule, or it can be a ring opening of a cycloalkene to form a conjugated polyene. So it can take place in both the directions. And the example is like a ring closure of 1,3,5 hexatriene. It forms 1,3-cyclohexadiene, that is a product with one more sigma bond and one lesser pi bond than the reactant. So here in this diagram you can see when the ring closing takes place, in the product, in the reactant we have three pi bonds, but in reactant we have only two pi bonds, and a new sigma bond is formed here. And in the ring opening reaction, the cyclobutene forms 1,3-butadiene, a product with one lesser sigma bond and one more pi bond. So number of pi bond actually increases when the ring opening reaction takes place. So you can define the electrocyclic ring closure as the intramolecular reaction that forms a cyclic product containing one more sigma bond and one fewer pi bond than the reactant. The example is here. It is 1,3,5 hexatriene with three pi bonds, and the cyclization takes place in the thermal condition. And now the new cyclic product that is formed here is 1,3-cyclohexadiene with two pi bonds. Now just reverse to it, we have electrocyclic ring opening reaction. So in the ring opening reaction, we have a sigma bond of a cyclic reactant is cleaved to form a conjugated product with one more pi bond. So cyclobutene, it is the ring opening reaction under thermal condition, and you can see when the ring is open you get two pi bonds here, but earlier in the reactant we have only one pi bond. So this was a brief revision of electrocyclic reactions. Now let us summarize about the stereochemistry and orbital symmetry. We have seen that in order to complete the electrocyclic reaction, we have to consider what is the symmetry of the HOMO. And we know that because they are the pericyclic reaction, this symmetry matters a lot. So we must focus on the HOMO of the acyclic conjugated polyene, is either the reactant or the product in electrocyclic reaction. So you have to examine only the terminal p lobes. When you are examining the HOMO of a conjugated system, you have to examine only the terminal p lobes, and you have to see whether the like phases of the orbital are on the same side or opposite side of the molecule. So here in this diagram, you can see the like phases are on the same side, but here the like phases are on opposite side. So when will the electrocyclic reaction take place? The electrocyclic reaction occurs only when the like phases of orbitals can overlap to form a bond, and we call such reactions symmetry allowed. Then electrocyclic reaction cannot occur between the orbitals of opposite phases. Such a reaction is symmetry forbidden. Because my electrocyclic reaction is an intramolecular reaction, and it could be a ring closure or ring opening reaction. So we have to consider only these two p orbitals. Only these two p orbitals on the terminal carbon, they have to overlap with each other. So when the like phases have to overlap, this will be a symmetry allowed process. But when different phase of the p orbital they are together, they cannot overlap, because such overlap is symmetry forbidden. So only the like phases are able to overlap. So in which manner they overlap, that actually determines. There are two possibilities according to the mode of the rotation. So the first possibility we saw that when the like phases of the p orbitals they are on the same side of the molecule, the two orbitals they must rotate in the opposite direction, one clockwise and another counterclockwise. And when they rotate in the opposite direction, you call it a disrotatory motion. So here, when the two lobes of the p orbital, when the light phases are on the same side, like we have two red phases here above the molecule and two blue phases below the molecule. So when the two light phases, they are on the same side of the molecule. So in order to overlap together, these orbitals have to rotate, and when they rotate in two different directions, this is the disrotatory motion. So as you can see, this orbital is rotating in the counterclockwise direction, and this one is rotating in the clockwise direction. So after such this rotatory motion, now these two blue colored lobes they come together and a new sigma bond is formed here. So this is what this rotatory motion, and you can remember it by different rotation of the orbital. So this rotatory motion is when the p orbitals are rotating in different direction. The second possibility is that when two different phases of the p orbital they are on the same side. So in such condition, in order to overlap effectively, in order for a symmetry allowed overlap, these orbitals have to rotate in the common direction. Either the both orbitals should rotate in the clockwise direction. So in that case, both the both the blue lobes will come together, and if they both rotate in the anti-clockwise direction, so in that case, both the red lobes will come together. So in either of the case, we have a new sigma bond here, and because both the p orbitals they have a common direction for their rotation, you call it a con-rotatory motion. So, what is a con-rotatory motion? The common direction of two rotating orbitals when both are rotating clockwise or both are rotating anti-clockwise. So, this is the symmetry allowed rotation in such case. So, we have seen that these rules, these orbital symmetry, this actually governs the process of an electrocyclic reaction, and by considering all these factors you can predict that whether the reactions are feasible or not, whether it can take place under heat or photochemical condition. So in this series we have already discussed about the thermal electrocyclic reactions, and today in the second part of the lecture we will discuss about the photochemical electrocyclic reactions, those electrocyclic reactions which are possible in the photochemical condition, or you can say when the molecule enters into excited energy state. When molecule enters, how it will enter into excited energy state, because we are providing radiation to the molecule, and that hnu, that photon of light, will excite one electron from its ground energy state to the higher energy state, and now the homo orbital of the molecule actually changes. So what is changing in the photochemical condition as compared to the thermal condition? In thermal condition, the molecule is reacting in its ground state, but in photochemical condition, the molecule is actually reacting in its excited state, first excited state of the molecule. So the homo changes, symmetry of the homo changes in the photochemical condition. So these reactions, the photochemical electrocyclic reactions, they follow the similar principle, just like we discussed in case of the thermal reactions. But they have one important difference. And what is that difference? In the photochemical reactions, we must consider the orbitals of the HOMO of excited state to determine the course of the reaction. So now what will change here when the symmetry of the HOMO changes? Now what type of motion is to be take place here in order for a symmetry allowed overlap? So that will change. Like in case of thermal condition, if the con-rotatory motion was required, in the photochemical reaction it will be just reverse of it. Now the this rotatory motion will be required here. So we will see these rules later on in this lecture. So what is changing here? The orbital of the HOMO of the excited state has to be considered here to determine the course of the reaction. The excited state HOMO has the opposite orientation of the outermost p orbital compared to the ground state. So it is always like that. Whatever conjugated system you are considering, whatever molecule you are taking, it is always like that. The first ground state, it has the symmetry of the two terminal p lobe. It is always opposite to that of the ground state HOMO. So suppose in the ground state HOMO, if the con-rotatory motion was required, it will become disrotatory in the photochemical conditions. And if the disrotatory motion was required for the symmetry allowed overlap in the thermal condition, so in the photochemical condition, it will become con-rotator. So they are just opposite to each other, and that is simply due to the fact that in the excited state of the HOMO, the orientation of the outermost p orbital, those are present on the terminal carbon atoms, it just becomes the reverse. So as a result, what happens? The method of the ring closure of a photochemical electrocyclic reaction, it is opposite to that of a thermal electrocyclic reaction for the same number of bond. If you are considering the same system, like suppose for a system containing 2 pi bonds, or for a system containing 4 pi bonds. So when you are considering a single system, suppose for a system containing 4 pi bonds, so photochemical and thermal reactions, in them the mode of the ring closure will be just opposite. So here you can see the photochemical electrocyclic ring closure of 2E4Z and 6E246 octatriene. And we have already discussed in the previous lecture about E and Z configuration of the alkene, how the double bond is oriented, how it is configured. So we call it E or Z. So here in this molecule of 246 octatriene, we have 3 double bonds. So this is a system containing 3 double bonds. The second double bond, E configuration. The fourth double bond at the fourth carbon, it is having Z configuration, and the last one, that is on the sixth carbon atom, it is again having the E configuration. So in this case of octatriene, when the electrocyclic ring closure takes place, this is the symmetry of the terminal p lobes in case of the excited state of the molecule. Okay, you have to consider the excited state HOMO. So the terminal p lobes, they have this symmetry, and now you can see that the different phases of the lobe, they lie on the same side of the molecule. So here the orbital has to rotate clockwise. Both the orbitals have to rotate clockwise in order for symmetry allowed overlap. So when they both are rotating clockwise, what will happen now? Now these two blue lobes will come together. Now if you can see here, we have substituent also present on the terminal carbon. So when the orbital will rotate, along with this orbital, the substituent will always rotate. So when this p lobe is coming down, the substituent CH3 will go up. And this orbital is rotating like this. So this blue lobe is coming up, and this CH3 is coming down like this. So one CH3 will be upside of the molecule, and one CH3 will be below the molecular plane. So what happens here? A trans product is formed. Now, if you remember, if you perform the similar reaction with the similar reactant, that is octatriene, but you take the thermal condition. So in that case, a disrotatory motion will take place and a cis product will be formed. So this is the case, they are just opposite to each other. Here the H nu is mentioned, which shows the photochemical condition, and the common direction of orbital rotation is showing the con-rotatory motion. The cyclization occurs in a con-rotatory fashion because the excited state HOMO of a conjugated triene has like phases of the outermost p orbitals on the opposite side of the molecule. This was shown in the previous figure. In the con-rotatory ring closure, one methyl group is pushed down and one methyl group is pushed up. So what happens? You get a trans product. This is a specific example in the general process observed for conjugated polyene with an odd number of pi bonds. So now again, this is getting easier and much simpler for all the systems, all the conjugated systems having odd number of pi bonds. This is the case whether it is containing 3 pi bonds or 5 pi bonds, 7 pi bonds. For all the systems containing odd number of pi bond, what will happen? The photochemical electrocyclic reaction will take place via con-rotatory motion. This will be true. Photochemical electrocyclic reaction occurs in the con-rotatory fashion for a conjugated polyene with an odd number of pi bonds. So this is a generalized statement which can be applied accordingly, and this will help you to solve different problems related to this topic. Now, moving forward, let us look at the photochemical electrocyclic ring closure of 2E4E 2,4-hexadiene. This is hexadiene molecule, and the double bonds have configuration E and E. So for E and E configuration, like you can see, this is the E configuration, this is also E configuration. So for E configuration of all the double bonds, here you can see that the two orbitals, how will they overlap in the symmetry allowed manner? This orbital has to rotate like in the clockwise direction, and this p orbital has to rotate in the counterclockwise direction. So what will happen here? Now the two terminal p lobes come together and they will form a sigma bond. But along with these two orbitals, if you can notice, this substituent is also rotating. So when the orbital is rotating like this, the substituent methyl will go up, and when this orbital is rotating like this, again this methyl substituent, it will also go up. So both the substituents are coming on the similar side of the molecule. So because the two orbitals, they are rotating in different directions, so it will be a disrotatory motion. And as a result of the disrotatory fashion, what you will get? You will get a cis product. So this is the case of a conjugated polyene system containing even number of pi bond, and this will be true for all such systems. Whether you have a 2 pi bond system, 4 pi bond system, 6 pi bond system, whatever it is, it must have a even number of pi bonds, and whenever they are present, the photochemical ring closure, it will take place via the disrotatory motion. So these things can be generalized, and they are very helpful when you are solving a problem related to pericyclic reactions. So here the cyclization occurs in a disrotatory fashion, because why it is so? Because you have now the excited state HOMO of the conjugated system, in which the like phases of the outermost p orbital, they are on the same side of the molecule, like you have just seen in the figure. So in this rotatory ring closure, what happens? Both the methyl groups, they are pushed down or they are pushed up. So that depends whether they are rotating clockwise or anti-clockwise. So both the methyl groups, they will remain on the same side, and this will result into formation of the cis product. So this is a specific example of a general process observed for conjugated polyenes with an even number of pi bonds. This is the case when you have even number of pi bonds in your conjugated polyene. The photochemical electrocyclic reactions occur in a disrotatory fashion for a conjugated polyene with an even number of pi bonds. Now let us summarize these results in a table. So these are the Woodward-Hoffmann rules. So Woodward-Hoffmann rule we have also discussed them for the cycloaddition reactions, and in the similar manner they could be given for the electrocyclic reactions as well. So for the electrocyclic reactions under thermal and photochemical conditions, these are the rules by which you can simply predict the course of the reaction. And the only thing that you need to know is number of pi bonds refers to the acyclic conjugated polyene, that is either the reactant or product of the electrocyclic reaction. You have to find out number of pi bonds in your system. So once you get to know the number of pi bonds, now Now you will apply the Woodward-Hoffmann rule for the electrocyclic reaction. Now suppose if a number of pi bonds in your system, in your conjugated polyene, if they are even, then what will happen? In the thermal reaction, a con-rotatory motion will take place, but in the photochemical reaction, a dis-rotatory motion of terminal p orbital will be allowed. Similarly, when you have odd number of pi bond in your conjugated polyene, so in the thermal reaction, dis-rotatory motion will take place, and in the photochemical reaction, con-rotatory motion will take place. So in this manner, you can summarize all these observations, and they are known as the Woodward-Hoffmann rules for electrocyclic reaction. Similar rules have been discussed for cycloaddition reaction in the earlier lectures. Now we will solve a sample problem here, and when you solve it, all these concepts will be clear to you. So what is this problem? Let us first read the statement. You have to identify A and B in the following reaction sequence. What is A and what is B? Label each process as con-rotatory or dis-rotatory. You have to label the process. So first you have a thermal condition, and in the second from A to B you have a photochemical condition. So now you have to identify the products. What is A and what is B? So if you can see our initial starting compound, it is a ring. It is an unsaturated ring. So you can see that this will undergo the ring opening reaction. Okay. So when the ring opening reaction will take place, what will happen? One sigma bond will be formed, and this will add one pi bond to the system. So the ring opening of a cyclohexadiene forms a hexatriene with 3 pi bonds. This ring will break from here, and 3 pi bonds will be now there in the molecule. One will be here, here and here. So you will have 3 pi bonds, and one more thing you need to remember is the stereochemistry of the reactant. So you can see one of the CH3, it is towards the downside of the molecule, and one CH3 is upside of the molecule. So both the CH3, they are present in two different directions. So a conjugated polyene with odd number of pi bond, it undergoes thermal electrocyclic reaction in a dis-rotatory fashion. Now we are applying the Woodward-Hoffmann rule that we have just discussed. So when you have odd number of pi bonds, okay, then what will happen? A thermal electrocyclic reaction will take place in the dis-rotatory fashion. So odd number of pi bonds, they are actually there in the product, right? The product will have 3 pi bonds. Here you need not to consider the 2 bonds of this reactant. Okay, if you consider the 2 bonds that my reactant is containing 2 bonds only, this is the even number of pi bond, and now you will apply the wrong rule here. Your solution will become wrong. So how you will consider the number of pi bond, that is also very important. When your reactant will undergo the ring opening reaction, it will be having 3 pi bonds. So you have to consider the rule for odd number of pi bond. And it says what? It says that for the odd number of pi bond, for the thermal electrocyclic reaction, this will take place in the dis-rotatory fashion. So the resulting hexatriene then undergoes a photochemical electrocyclic reaction in a con-rotatory fashion to form a cyclohexadiene with cis-methyl groups. Now the product that is formed here, it will do what under the photochemical condition? Again, it will do the electrocyclic reaction. There will be ring closure reaction. And now again, this is what? This is a 3 pi bond system, odd number of pi bond. So under the photochemical condition, now we know that for a system containing odd number of pi bond in the photochemical condition, you get a con-rotatory motion. So again, there will be formation of a cyclohexadiene, but this time what will happen? You will get a cis-methyl group. So in the starting compound in my reactant, I was having trans-methyl group, but in the after the two steps, one thermal and one photochemical, the reverse configuration is obtained, and now the product B, this will be the similar product, but the methyl groups being in the cis position to each other. So let us see the reaction here. This is the first step. The first step in which you have these two phenyl groups, they will remain unaffected, and you have two E configurations, right? And the two double bonds are here. What will happen now? You have seen that there will be this rotatory motion. The orbitals will move like this. One CH3 will go down and one CH3 will go up. So when you provide the thermal condition, this rotatory motion will take place. And in the ring opening reaction, you will get what? You will get a product containing this E and Z configuration. This is E and Z configuration that you are getting from a trans cyclohexadiene. This was the first step. So this A is your solution. This is the first product formed after the thermal reaction. Then the second part of the problem is you are providing with a photochemical reaction to the similar reactant. So when you are providing the photochemical reaction, what will happen now? The symmetry of the terminal 2p orbitals, now it will change, because now we are considering the excited state HOMO of the molecule. So when you are considering the excited state of the molecule, what will happen? Now here in this case, the HOMO will change and symmetry of the two terminal p orbitals, this will also change. So now opposite rotation is required in order for a symmetry allowed overlap. So here you can see these two p orbitals, they have two different phases of present on the same side of the molecule. So what happens? This orbital has to rotate like this in the opposite, in the counterclockwise direction, and this orbital is rotating in the again counterclockwise direction. So both the orbitals, because now they have to rotate in the common direction, so the rotation is called as con-rotatory motion. So when such rotation of p orbital will take place, here you can see this CH3 will come down, and this CH3 will also come down. And now what will happen? Both the CH3, both the methyl groups, they are present on the same side, and now the cyclohexa triene that is being formed here, cyclohexadiene, it will have cis orientation of the two methyl groups. So the two methyls, they will be present in the cis position to each other. So in this manner, you can apply the Woodward-Hoffmann rules for electrocyclic reaction, and you can predict what type of rotation is going to take place in the orbitals, what will be the orientation of the substituent present on the molecule, and what will be the stereochemistry of the product. So whether it is a cis product or a trans product, in the ring opening reaction, you can predict the E and Z configuration of the resulting polyene. So therefore, in this manner, you can apply the Woodward-Hoffmann rule, and you need to remember that very carefully when you are counting the pi electrons in a system. So always you need to count that pi electron in the uh, open ring substrate, like in the conjugated polyenes, you have to consider that. In the cyclic reactant, you need not to count that pi electron. You have to consider a conjugated system, and then only you will count the pi electron. And then according to the nature of the pi bond, like it is a, if it is an even number of pi bond or odd number of pi bond, now you will apply the Woodward-Hoffmann rule according to the thermal or photochemical condition, whatever is mentioned in your problem. So these results can be summarized here, like in case of 1,3-butadiene, 1,3-butadicyclobutene. This is the reactant, and suppose you have a trans product here. So what will be the possibility? And if you have a cis product here, so what will be the possibility? So you can summarize these results when you have a trans 1,3-butadiene to cyclobutene. This system is there. So in the cyclobutene, when you have trans configuration, under the thermal condition, you will get EE configuration, and under the photochemical condition, you will get an EZ configuration. And the con rotatory motion is taking place here, and this rotatory motion is taking place here. But in case of the cis cyclobutene, when the photochemical condition is provided that this rotatory motion is taking place and you get an EE configuration of the double bond, and in the thermal condition you are getting the EZ configuration under the by the Korn rotatory motion of the p orbital. So you can remember these observations very easily that in the photochemical condition you can see that this rotatory motion is taking place. This is a system containing two pi bonds, that is the even number of pi bonds. You have to consider the conjugated polyene when you are counting the pi electrons. So we have two pi bond. So two pi bond when you have photochemical reaction taking place via this rotatory motion and thermal reaction taking place via Korn rotatory motion. And the stereochemistry is like trans is giving the double E in the thermal and EZ in the photochemical. Cis will give just opposite to that, under the photochemical giving double E and in the thermal condition giving E. So such rules, if you practice them, they will help you in solving so many problems related to this chapter. Now moving forward, we have another system. Sorry, we are discussing the same system by looking at the diagram. So in the EE13-butadiene to cyclobutene, this system. So in the EE13-butadiene, you can see here this is the HOMO of the ground state, and when you provide a photon of light, this is the HOMO of the excited state. So as you can see, the HOMO of the ground state, the orientation of the two terminal p orbital is just reversed here. Here you have one blue and one red above the molecule. Here you have both the red above the molecule. So similar sites are present on the same side of molecules in the excited state HOMO, and different lobes are present on same side in the ground state of the HOMO. So now when you will perform the reaction in the photochemical reaction, what will happen? A cis product will be formed by this rotatory motion, and in the Korn rotatory motion it is not possible actually. That is why it is shown by the dashed arrow, and therefore what will happen, since this is not possible, the reaction is taking place actually via the photochemical pathway. The reverse of the reaction is possible in the thermal pathway, and here what is happening, Korn rotatory motion is taking place. If you consider the EZ configuration of a 1,3-butadiene to cyclobutene system, under the photochemical condition, you can see that this rotatory motion is followed, but in case of thermal condition, Korn rotatory motion is being followed. Again, you can see here in the ground state HOMO, you have different lobes of the p orbital here present on the same side of the molecule. One is blue, other is red. And when you provide a photon of light, it goes to its excited state. And what happens now, the similar type of lobes, they are present on the same side of the molecule. So here, the this rotatory motion takes place. You can even consider a system containing odd number of pi bonds, like here in the case of hexatriene, 135 hexatriene, what happens? It is having EZE configuration or EZZ configuration. These two type of configurations are possible, and after the ring closure, you can get trans or cis product. Sorry, this is the trans and this is the cis product. So again, the similar rules are applied under the thermal condition that this rotatory motion is being followed, and under the photochemical condition, Korn rotatory motion is being followed. So these are really important if you can remember them. Now, what will change in any problem? Suppose if you have given a problem, you have to draw the product, or if you have to draw the structure of the reactant, then you need to be very careful about the stereochemistry of it, and that you can easily explain, that you can easily understand by these summarized diagram. So what will change here? Only the nature of the substituent will change here. Rest will remain the same. So look at in detail. This is the EZE 135 hexatriene, and here in the ground state of the molecule, you have these HOMOs having same like phases together on the same side of the molecule. Therefore, they will follow the this rotatory motion, and therefore you will get a cis product here. And in the excited state of the HOMO, now The two p orbitals, they have different p lobes together. So what will happen now? Both the p orbitals will rotate in the common direction, and you will call it a con-rotatory motion. So as a result of this, you will get a trans product. So let us summarize the rules for pericyclic reaction. So we will summarize this in the form of a table as well. So what are the three thumb rules that we can use for predict the course of a pericyclic reaction? The first is a thermal reaction involving an even number of pi bonds undergoes a con-rotatory electrocyclic reaction or intrafacial cycloaddition. So in case of cycloaddition, we have already discussed the intrafacial and suprafacial type of addition. So whenever a thermal reaction is taking place, which involves even number of pi bonds, so in the electrocyclic, it will be con-rotatory, and in the cycloaddition, it will be intrafacial. So this will be true for all such systems containing even number of pi bonds. If one of the reaction condition changes either from thermal to photochemical or from even to odd number of pi bonds, if any one of these things changes, then the stereochemistry of the reaction changes to this rotatory or suprafacial. It means when we have a photochemical reaction with even number of pi bond, or we have a thermal reaction with odd number of pi bond, only one factor you have to change. So what will happen then? In that case, the stereochemistry of the reaction will be this rotatory for the electrocyclic reaction and suprafacial for the cycloaddition reaction. So you are changing only one factor. But if you change both the factors, then again the reaction will be similar, right? If you have changed that this is a photochemical reaction, this is the odd number of pi bond, both the factors are changed. Now what will happen? The photochemical reaction with an odd number of electrons, the stereochemistry does not change. Now a con-rotatory electrocyclic reaction or intrafacial cycloaddition reaction will occur. So these are the rules which holds true for all such type of system. The only thing that one has to perform is to calculate the number of pi bond in your system correctly. Once you have that and you remember the Woodward-Hoffmann rules, then in that case it becomes really easy for you to predict the stereochemistry of the product. So this is the table summarizing all these effects for the electrocyclic and cycloaddition reaction. So in this, the reaction conditions when they are thermal. So for thermal reaction, when you have even number of pi bond, in the electrocyclic it is con-rotatory, and in the cycloaddition it is intrafacial. But in the thermal condition, when you have odd number of pi bond, for the electrocyclic reaction it is disrotatory, and for the cycloaddition it is suprafacial. When you consider the photochemical reaction, now the situation is reversed. The HOMO of the excited state of the molecule is being considered, and generally it has the configuration of the terminal p lobes opposite to that of the thermal condition. So here you will have, when you have even number of pi bond, in the electrocyclic reaction, you will get a disrotatory motion of the orbital, and in the cycloaddition, you will get a suprafacial motion in the cycloaddition reaction. Similarly, when you have odd number of pi bonds, under the photochemical condition, for the electrocyclic reaction, this would be the con-rotatory motion, and for the cycloaddition, this will be intrafacial motion of the orbital. Now I would like you to solve this question. You need to go through all the study material provided for the electrocyclic reaction and the cycloaddition reaction, and then using the Woodward-Hoffmann rule, you have to predict the stereochemistry of each of these reactions. First of all, you have to predict the stereochemistry of a 6 plus 4 thermal cycloaddition. A cycloaddition reaction, 6 plus 4, and thermal condition. So you need not to draw anything here. You have to just remember the Woodward-Hoffmann rules and you have to apply them here. So first of all, what you will do, now I will quickly revise the steps. You will count on the number of pi electrons in the conjugated polyene The second thing is that you will find out what are the reaction conditions, whether they are thermal or they are photochemical. And the third thing is now you will find out the stereochemistry, like what type of motion is taking place. If it is a cycloaddition, then you have to find out the suprafacial or intrafacial. And if it is an electrocyclic reaction, you have to find out whether it is the con-rotatory motion or the dis-rotatory motion. The second question for you is photochemical electrocyclic ring closure of 13579 decapentene. Now I'll give you a hint about this. If you have 5 pi bonds in your reactant molecule, the odd number of pi bonds are here in the conjugated polyene and the reaction condition is photochemical. So what will be the course of this electrocyclic ring closure reaction according to the Woodward-Hoffmann rule? Third question is 4 plus 4 photochemical cycloaddition. Again, you will count the number of pi bonds here and consider the photochemical reaction condition. Refer to the Woodward-Hoffmann rule. And lastly, a photochemical ring opening of 135 octatriene. So here you are considering a system containing odd number of pi bonds, a ring opening reaction, and you have photochemical reaction condition. So these questions you need to solve in order to understand what you actually got all from these lectures. So for today, this is all from my side. Thank you so much.